1985 that the Montreal Protocol to the UN, convention on the this ozone layer, and along with the rules that were framed in India under the Environment Protection Act 1986 in 2002, known as the Ozone Depleting Substance Control Regulation and Control Rule 2000, that you can read from your Bayer Act on the environmental law. Now, in the last class, we discussed the international environmental development in decade 1980 to 1990. Then in today, I will try to finish the international environmental development and its bearing on the domestic environmental law in India and some other aspect in the next decade from 1990 to 2000. See, in 1992, under the United Nations, agencies, another conference was convened, and it was convened at a place that is the city in the Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. And this place was chosen because the Brazil is the having so much of a rainforest, and these rainforests were decreasing due to the industrialization, or you can say industrial activity, and the human population spreading. And so deliberately this place was chosen, and here this conference was convened, that is known as UNCED, United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. Okay, now in this conference, nearly 178 nations has participated, and more than hundreds head of the state government also participated, and the discussion, detailed discussion was held on the environment and the development. And in this conference, during this conference, there was a you can say the gap, layout change title, the gap between the south and the north. So south and north here mean the southern hemisphere countries and the northern hemisphere country. See, our earth is round, and if we from the equator, then you see that the northern part is known as the northern hemisphere and the southern part is the southern hemisphere. Now, if you observe that in the northern hemisphere, like the Europe, America, Canada, all these countries are developed country, Japan, etc. And in the southern hemisphere, the countries are, you can say, underdeveloped country or in the developing stage. And so there is the problem, the problem at the north and problem at the south are very different. And so the consensus was not reached, during the conference. This you can say the gap between these two countries have been observed. Even in the 1972 conference, Stockholm Declaration, also there was this type of the problem. Now, this conference has, covered many issues, but basically you can say that 5 important issues were discussed at this conference at the length. The first issue is that because of our industrialization, industrial activity, vehicular pollution, we are adding more and more greenhouse gases to the to the this our mother earth or to the environment. What are the greenhouse gases? Greenhouse gas, or you can say the greenhouse effect, is basically that effect by which our earth absorb the sunlight and retain it for more time, and that's why the earth atmosphere is slightly hot, and so that is important for existence of life also. Okay, but because of these carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, the temperature of earth is increasing, though it is not so much as shown in the movies, etc. In that in 1 year it raised to the 5 degree. It is slightly, so to some points to Celsius it is added every year. But this is scientifically proven fact that Earth's temperature, average temperature, is increasing yearly. And because of this increase in the temperature, there is melting of the ice at the polar region, and that melting of the ice increasing the sea level. And because of that, some countries like Maldives that situated within the ocean, they will face the problem, because whole Maldives merge into the the ocean. Then the country like this Bangladesh, the 30% of area of the Bangladesh will also submerge into the sea. That effect will also be on the India, because the population then will migrate it into the India. Okay, because the three side it is covered by the Indian territory, and other side it is the sea. So when sea encroaches, encroach the territory of the this Bangladesh, definitely the population will migrate and takes refuge to the Indian territory. Now this type of the problem will we are facing. And because of this greenhouse gases, there are some other environmental changes. So I'm not explaining so much. I think you are also aware, because as a vigilant and you all are graduate, you know that what are the other effect of of the greenhouse gases on the environment. Now the problem before this conference was that how the international community will make a consensus, and by that our industrial activity should be change in such a manner that maybe by replacing the fuel, that may be replacing of technology, some in other environment friendly technology. We are using the fuel for other many activities like the coal and other fossil fuel, so that can be replaced by some renewable sources of the energy. And you think that you can observe also that now in India and other countries, find that in buildings, the government building, or it may be the railway platform, you find these solar system. So basically all these things come, this technology came, and all these will happen because at the international level there was the consensus, and the parties to this declaration, though it is that outcome of Rio conference, though it is non-binding, but still it have the persuasive value at the international community. This concern was first time raised. So the first issue was the greenhouse gas emission. On that the discussion happened, and even I will discuss that what was the stand of the South and what was the stand of the North. So this conference was basically about South and North cooperation. The second thing is the forest. Okay. And the third thing was the population, though, because the population of the world is increasing at the alarming rate. It is not only India and China. The population of other countries are also increasing at very high rate, and it is unusually seen that the world population has reached at some sorry 8 billion. Uh, then the fourth is the technology transfer, because that the industrial activity cannot be jeopardized, otherwise it will adversely affect the developing nation. And for that the new, or you can say environment friendly or the clean technology has to be evolved, and that has to be transferred to the poor country. Fifth one is the finance. When we talk about such type of the important changes in our fuel preference and some other things, for that required the finance, for that required the huge amount of the money. So these five things were discussed. Now see on the effect of the greenhouse gases. The contention of the North was that there should be the shift of the our fuel preference. We should change our fuel preference from the fossil fuel and wood to the those fuel that have less emission of the carbon dioxide, to adopt such technologies, to adopt such sources of the fuel that release less amount or no amount of the CO2. And for that even we can adopt the renewable source of the energy like the wind energy, solar energy, and other form of the renewable energy. But the South has blamed that you are saying that we are adding into the greenhouse gases. But if you see the per capita emission of the carbon dioxide, data shows that Earlier it was the United State of America at the highest, but now it is the China at the highest in the world. And so they should first reduce and let the developing country to develop their to their country also, and then they can talk about the cutting down of the greenhouse gases. On this point, uh, the US has, because on this greenhouse gases, the if you see the outcome of this conference, okay, outcome we will discuss later on. First, I will discuss only that these issues. Now on the forest, now you see that these developed country, like if you see the America, the UK, all other European countries, uh, either they have already removed their forest, or if whatever their forest is there, that is well protected, and they are not dependent on the forest fuels and some other things, because the source of income is from the services and other things. But in the south, they are even using these wood as the source of energy or some other thing. And so North want a legally binding convention to restrict deforestation. Even if we see Madagascar and this Brazil, that in last 30 years, so much of the forest they have cleared for different activities, for establishing of industry, and clearing for cultivation. And this tropical region is basically 23 of north from equator, and 23 and half south from the equator. That region that is that got the highest amount of the sun energy, and that blessed with biodiversity. India is also fall in that tropical region. And so that area is having the so much of biodiversity, forest, etc., that world community want a legally binding document on that, and to declare that these forests are the common heritage of the mankind, and it should not be distracted. But the south is of the opinion that it will adversely affect their sovereignty on these forests. And if the north want to conserve, then they should share the profit of the research that is done on these plants present in these areas. And because of that money, they can evolve the technology, they can evolve and they bear the cost, and that will protect the forest, or will help in the conservation of the forest. Now the third thing is the population. And on the population, the north want that the population control should be in the south, because the southern countries have more population rate. And this population rate force the government to develop more houses, to develop more infrastructure, and ultimately that have the effect on the environment, and also increase the pollution. But the south blame that though we have the huge population, and the increase, even the population rate is also high here, but if you say per capita data, still we are very low. And these developed world, or this north are disturbing forest, and doing other environmental activity that are harmful for the environment. Then on the technology transfer, north say that we have the patent and these are the commercialized. And so if any country want to take these technology that we have evolved, that we have researched and developed after paying so much of money, after paying spending so much of time, one has to pay the money. But south says that these technology, if would not be transferred to the south, so they will be forced to use all the technology. Like the simply in the India, if you see the government, that the government earlier in the rural areas, people used to cook their food on the wood or the charcoal, you can say. But because of this Ujjwala Yojana, now in the every household, people are using this LPG as the source of fuel for cooking their foods and other items. So this whole supplying this LPG and all these things required that money. Even to extraction, the filling, that technology also required. So South said that if the North would not supply, or if at the world level there should not there would not be any fund by which these southern country will get the technology. So definitely they will use the what is already available, and that would hamper the environment. So it is the duty of the North or the developed country to either to create a fund or to transfer these technology at the cheaper rate. Now the fifth things that was at the discussion at the Rio conference was the finance, that who would pay whatever already been damaged or the destruction caused to the human environment or to the earth. The North say that the existing mechanism, the UN mechanism on the Global Environmental Facility, this GEF, the component of the World Bank, that World Bank and this other is this WTF, okay, monetary MTF, monetary GEF, this Global Environment Facility is sufficient and want finance sharing by every country, whether it is poor or rich. But the South contention was that we are at this developing stage, and whatever development, whatever the greenhouse gases, whatever other damage to cause to the mother earth is because of the industrialization or the industrial activities of the North. And so the polluter pay principle has to be applied, and the North has to pay the major part of their commitment to these institutions in place of the Global Environment Facility. So basically, global environment facilities talk about that every country has to contribute something for protection of the environment. If any program, any activity has to be run at the international level, every country has to pay. But the South is that whatever damage is caused is because of the industrialization in the America or the Canada or to the this Europe. So they must pay the major part. Yes, definitely we will also pay, but that may be in the last thing. Now after this discussion, the whole, there was the rift between, you can say, the gap of consensus between the North and the South nations, because both are contenting their own interest. And so ultimately the consensus was made, and that come into the that consensus in the form of a document. This document, though it is non-binding, it is a part of the soft law, is known as the Rio Declaration, or you can say Earth Declaration, because this Summit, or UNCED, United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, also known as the Earth Summit. And this document, if you read, I'm reading some part of this declaration. The preamble of this declaration say that the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, having met at the Rio de Janeiro from 3rd of June to 14th of June 1992, reaffirming the Declaration of United Nations, sorry, not states, United Nations Conference on Human Environment, adopted at the Stockholm on the 16th June 1972, and seeking to build upon it with the goal of establishing new and equitable global partnership through the creation of new level of cooperation among the states. And then there are the 27 principle that you can found here. The first principle say that the human beings are at the center of concern for sustainable development. They are entitled to healthy and the productive life, and Similarly, you will find these type of the principles 7 that talk about that states shall cooperate the spirit of global partnership to conserve, protect, restore, and the health and integrity of earth ecosystem in view of different contribution to global environment degradation. State have common but differentiated responsibility. This common but differentiated responsibility is known as CBDR, and principle 7 is asserting that all states have this responsibility to protect the earth, but that is differentiated. That is not according to the global environment facility, but that is according to the you can say the potential of the country to contribute in that particular regard. Okay, so this common but differentiated responsibility, this concept was first time you can find in the principle 7 of on the Rio Declaration. Then the principle 11 also important that talk about that state shall enact the effective environmental legislation. Environmental standard management objective and priorities should reflect the environment and development context to which they apply. Standard applies by some country may be inappropriate and of unwarranted economic and social cost to the other country. So basically, principle 11 of the Rio Declaration impose a moral force on every state to have the effective environmental legislation. Then the this principle 22, principle 22, the indigenous people and their communities and other local communities have a vital role in the environmental management. Now see, this principle 21 is the starting point that in 2006 in the India we have this the recognition of rights of the tribal people legislation 2006. That is also the part, and we will discuss that at the topic the last topic, that is related to the forest biodiversity and wildlife. So there this 2006 statute that the government has enacted, and in the preamble of that statute, in the statement of object and reason, also the same thing you will find. But the foundation was laid in the principle 21, where at the international level it was recognized that there are certain communities that we known as tribal people, and they are living into the forest, and their bonding with the forest and their environmental management is very effective, and so we should also respect them, and state should recognize and duly support their identity, culture, and interest, and enable their effective participation in achievement of the sustainable development. So this principle 22 is very, very important. And then the principle 25 that talk about the triangle, that there are the three components, that peace, development, and environment, and these are independent and indivisible. If there is a war, then that is the harmful for the environment, that is harmful for the development. So peace is necessary for development and the environment. These three are interdependent and indivisible. Then the principle 26, that states shall resolve all their environmental dispute peacefully and by appropriate means in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations. If there is any dispute at the international level between the two countries, so they must resolve their dispute according to the United Charter. So and the principle 27 that talk about that this is state and people shall cooperate in good faith and spirit of partnership. Now all these principles are important, but some principle that I have discussed, like principle 21, principle 25, principle 1, etc., these are most important. After this Rio Declaration, the outcome of this Rio Declaration was that on the issue of greenhouse gas emission, in 1992 itself, the UN Framework Convention on the Climate Change was come into the picture, and it was then signed by the various nation. And in this, because the scheme is just like the convention, the Vienna Convention on the protection of the ozone layer 1995, that there will be the conference of the parties. In the conference of the parties, the member to the convention on the climate change, CCC, will meet regularly. They will decide how far they have come, to effectively control the emission of the greenhouse gases, to find out what are the greenhouse gases, and declaring the time bound manner, etc. All these things are under the this convention on the climate change, you can say triple C, 1992. And then the second, on the forest, there was a non-binding, Lishan, that I'm saying non-binding. This convention on climate change was a binding because it is the convention legally binding document, but on the forest there was this document that is known as uh, Declaration on Principle in Forestry Conservation. This principle on the forest conservation, this document is basically conservation and protection of the forest. And if you see any type of the forest, maybe village forest or reserve forest, okay. So this is non-binding document. Then the third outcome was Agenda 21, and this Agenda 21 is basically a voluminous, a big document that also I have uploaded to the Google Classroom. And it is known as Agenda 21 because it has the action plan for global, national, regional, and at the international level of the 21st century. And it basically talk about, as such, it has very voluminous in many pages, but there are the four sections that it is divided, and these four sections are important. First is social and economic dimension, and it talk about that there should be the action on the sustainable development, the poverty control, the health, the human settlement, integration of environment and development in the decision making. The second section of the Agenda 21 talk about conservation and management of resources for development. And this section include the chapter on atmospheric protection, land resources, deforestation, desertification and drought, mountain agriculture, biological diversity, biotechnology, etc. These various areas, various issues this section deal with. And in the document you will find the full action plan for the national level, at the national level, at the regional level, at the the international level. The section 3 of the Agenda 21 talk about the standing the role of major group. So here the major group has been recognized, like our NGOs, like our government, like the women, like the trade union, business partner. If you see that this section 135 of the Companies Act, the corporate social responsibility, and there under the corporate session social responsibility in the Companies Act 2013, there is the schedule also attached to the act that talk about that these are the activities in which the this companies that have more than this threshold of the total capital or the turnover has to contribute, has to do some activity. So that also the one of the activity that was recognized, and all these international development result into that particular provision. Then the local authorities, the industrial community, the scientific and technology communities, farmers, etc. And the fourth and last section of the Agenda 21 talk about means of implementation, include chapter on finance resources, technology transfer, cooperation, capacity building, education, public awareness, training, institutional arrangement, legal instruments and mechanism. And all these things you can see, you can find in the curriculum of the every class, etc. When earlier environmental law, the environment as the class was not in the curriculum of Indian or some other, others country also. But later on, because of this concern and this type of the document, we have included all these things. Now the next the development from the Rio conference was this convention on the biodiversity. See, the convention on the biodiversity 1992, that is a legally binding document. And though, if you see the attitude of the United States earlier, in the first 2 decades, United States was so, you can say, energetic about to tackle the environmental issue. But later on, from 1992, the USA was not in the mood to attend or take seriously any type of the environmental, the agreement. Even the USA has said this convention on the climate change and is not proper. It is unreasonable because yes, because it will hamper their activity, and for that there would require the major changes in the economy. And all these changes will result into the joblessness in the America. Even the USA did not signed the biodiversity convention 1992. India, though, at the once signed this convention on biodiversity, because in the if you see the biodiversity convention, it has the three component. One is the giving the sovereignty of the nation to the all the biological resource. Then the conservation is the second aspect, to conserve the biodiversity, whatever the form of the life present on this earth, because that is for common mankind, or the common heritage. And third is the benefit sharing, that if any drug, if any benefit is arise out of that particular biodiversity, then that has to be shared through benefit sharing. So these are the three elements. The USA objected the biodiversity treaty and say that it will hamper their biotechnology industry, and they don't have the fund for the conservation of the biological resources, etc. And so they have not signed it. Now the next is to the this biodiversity convention. Our biological diversity act also came into the existence. That is also because we are the part the signatory to the convention on biological diversity. Then there is another uh, uh, yeah, this SDC, a Sustainable Development Commission, and this is to be set for monitoring the implementation of the Agenda 21. Sustainable Development Goal were also uh, set up. Then after the development, we will do that how, and sustainable development goal will change into the millennium development goal, MDG, from SDG to MDG. So these were some outcome of this Rio declaration. If you see the India's role, the India was in the center of all these development. India was in the favor of the convention of biodiversity and the other, like the forest principle and all other changes also. But India also proposed the planet protection fund, that this technology transfer of technology you are talking about. And for that, there is a rift between north and south. North want that there should be the clean energy technology, there should be the change in the technology that have the less greenhouse gases and the other effect on the environment. But for that, the money is required, and the underdeveloped country will not adopt those things that are not in their in their reach. So there should be a planet protection fund, and that from that planet protection fund, these technology should be made available to the every country who want to take it. Now if you see that shortcoming of this Rio conference, that it did not address the issue of the population, because out of five issue, the third issue, that I said was about the population, and the north and south both discussed on that also, but no legal binding or non-binding document or consensus was reached at the issue of the world population. Then the developed nation was unwilling to bear the responsibility also. So these are the some the shortcoming of the Rio declaration, or you can say the Rio conference or the Arc summit. Now time is over, and I think the document related to the Convention on Climate Change and the Convention on Biological Diversity also I have uploaded. Agenda 21 I also have uploaded. So all these you can go through, and on this Convention on Climate Change through the conference of the party in 1997. When the COP happened in the Japan, the Kyoto Protocol came, and in this Kyoto Protocol, the date were mentioned about the reduction of the carbon, or you can say greenhouse gases emission. So all these remaining thing, we will discuss in our last class, because today time is over. So with this, today discussion is over, and now is the it is on you to ask any question query that you have from this discussion. You all are welcome. Yes.